gentlemen, the Up Your Alley Orchestra. I'd like a big round of applause for them. I don't know if you happen to see the first Tournament of Champions, or the second one actually in December, but the Up Your Alley Orchestra was here. They were all set up out here and they played. Now they're cutting albums, and that was their first CD that they released. And you can get copies of them. I don't know how they're bootleg copies, and I don't know where they're made. You can get them in Vegas or something. But this is Up Your Alley. This is Michigan's #1 bowling show, brought to you right here live from the Garden Lanes. And we're right in the middle of our new season, and this is our spring season. And right now, I'd like to give you the top 5 people so far that are the qualifiers for the Tournament of Champions. Our top seed is Richard Setlock. He bowled a 233. Then we have John Garland. He did it last week with a 204. He beat Oz Easton. Then Philip Tamarolio. He bowled a 190. He's our 3rd seed. Oz Easton. I don't know what this guy does for a living, but he bowled a 182. He's our 4th seed. And then Amy Riley rounding out the top 5 with a 169. Those are the people so far. Now this season will end probably at the end of May, and the Tournament of Champions will be seen in June. And there's about 8 more weeks to go, and people can still qualify. So the next 8 weeks, we could see these names bumped out of there and get some better scores and higher scores. Or we'll just go with these people and leave Oz in the tournament. I don't know if you want to do that, but we'll do that. But anyways, this show is being brought to you through a grant from the Garden City Cable Commission. And if you too would like to put a show together of your own, just contact the Cable Commission through the Garden City City Hall. And right now they're looking for people to start up new shows. They're looking for all kinds of participation. And if you'd like to volunteer for something, just contact them and they'd be more than happy to help you out. And it's a real good time. Right now I'd like to bring up our 2-week champion, John Garland. He beat Oz last week. Let's bring him to the stage right now, ladies and gentlemen. John Garland, welcome back.
Thank you.
Is there a problem coming back?
No, it was no problem. It was a lot of fun.
How was the hotel?
The hotel accommodations are excellent in Garden City.
Where did you stay?
At the Novi Hilton.
In Garden City. That's kind of, we just kind of moved it over. So you're bowling against Al Haza. Now, who is this guy?
Al Haza is my next door neighbor, who I've lived next to for about 9 years now. And we bowl in 2 leagues together, and there's a lot of competition between us.
Was it a happy 9 years?
Oh, it's been a real good 9 years, you bet.
So what year did the big picket fence go up so you don't have to look at Al?
Oh, no, we're going to put a gate between the fences. That's what we're going to do.
Just so in the summertime you can walk back and forth.
That's right. We both have pools, and we have to check out each other's pool to see whose is the cleanest, and maybe that's what we'll go for today, to see who cleans pools for this summer.
It sounds like a fun neighborhood.
It is a real great neighborhood.
So anyone out there you'd like to say hello to?
Well, my wife Mary Kay and my 2 sons, Jason and Aaron, are here today. So.
Great. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Garland. And now I'd like to bring up our challenger. He's getting a 25-pin handicap. Let's bring him up right now. Al Haza. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So you think you're going to beat this guy?
I don't see why not. I've let him slide all year. Now it's his turn to get beat on television.
What kind of bowler is he, actually?
That's a real good bowler. He's carrying a 190-some average, and he's due to pressure. Pressure don't get to him.
How you doing in your league?
I'm doing all right. Holding my own. Once a week bowler. What can I say? I have fun though.
Anyone out there you'd like to say hello to?
I have my wife here and my son Brian. Phil Tamarolio come to watch the grudge match in the neighborhood.
Terrific.
It was his turn last week.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Al Haza. And we'll be back with more Up Your Alley right after this.
From the Garden Lanes in Garden City, this is Omni Edition's Up Your Alley. Brought to you by Geppetto's, located in the Garden Plaza on Ford Road. By King Cone, on Ford Road just east of Merriman. By J&D Silk Screening and More on Middle Belt Road, across from Garden City High School. By the Garden Lanes, on Warren Road, just east of Middle Belt. By Tales and Tapes Bookstore, located in the Sheridan Square. And by Your Travel Planner, also in the Sheridan Square and all in Garden City. Here now your host, Kevin Krames.
Hi, welcome back to Up Your Alley. It's the fun part of the show where people step up and bowl. That's what we're all about. John Garland, step to the foul line and shoot your first ball. John will throw his first ball, and then Al will throw 2 after that. I'd like to thank Richie Smith for showing up tonight. Brooklyn's shot. They'll start out with a 9 count. I'd like to thank Gerald Riley for keeping score with us. Al is a 25-pin handicap. And a spare there for John in the first frame. That'll bring Al to the line. He'll be bowling in his first and second frame. Nice smooth ball. And he knocks down 8. He'll be throwing at the 4-7 combination. And maybe a little later on in the show, maybe at the end of the show, we'll have Gerald Riley. He has the American League standings, and we're going to talk about some baseball at the end of the show. So we got to fix the score here. So Al gets a spare there. We got the score straightened out a little early on in the evening. It's playoff time right now. Second week in April. And the Wings will be entering the playoffs. Pistons will be entering the playoffs soon. Brooklyn side. And a 5-pin will stand. And 2 spares in a row for Al Heza. Nice shot. That'll bring up John Garland in the line. John with a spare in the first frame. $25. You're up. He's holding the counter. So I don't know if we can get a shot of it, but we're having a fight over here at the scoreboard. It's still wrong. And then mark down John's score. John got a 7 count and then a spare. No. No, John got a 7 here in the second frame. And then a spare. Here. All right. We straightened out here? Right? Yep, 17. Okay. What am I, Mr. Rogers? Okay, now knock it down. He got a strike there in the third frame.
Going too fast.
So Al comes to the line and hopefully won't knock down too many pins. We wouldn't want to make it too difficult. And he'll leave a solid 10 pin. Probably cross alley at this. April 12th to everybody in Garden City. Everything going all right, Jer?
Yeah.
Okay. You picked it up? Now, later on, we're going to talk about some baseball in the end of the show. You looking forward to that?
Yes.
We're going to talk about the American League. He's got some standings. He's got his predictions. Going to talk about the American League. And he'll get an 8 count there. He'll be throwing at the 6 pin. There, and he picks it up. All marks through 4 frames. That'll bring up John, our 2-week champion, striking the 3rd frame. Everything going all right, Jer? Oh, that's the first gutter ball we've had on this season. That could be the first gutter ball on the show. Final 8 count there in the 4th frame. That's our first open frame of the day. Judges, is the scores right? I'd like to thank the accounting firm of Deloitte Haskins and Sells for coming on down and making sure the scores are tabulated correctly. We'll be throwing at the 3-9 sleeper combination here in the 5th frame, an 8 count there for John. Once again, we'd like to thank Richie Smith for showing up. And he picks it up, a nice shot there. That's a tough one to pick up. That'll bring up Al. There you see a good shot of Garden Lanes, the new facade down there, and the Up Your Alley sign. And a baby split there, the 310 baby split. And he tried to cross alley at it, and he picked up the 10 pin. Al's first open frame there in the 5th. Our score through 5 frames, 109 for Al, but he has that 25-pin handicap that's added in there. And John Garland with a 73 with a spare in the 5th through 5 frames. And once again, the 310 baby split. See if we can pick it up this time. There he goes. Picks it up. Nice shot there. don't know if we can re-rack that, but the fans want to see the minuet that he did at the end.
Next time, do the Inky Shuffle.
And it looks like the 3-pin. And a spare there in the 6th frame. Well, today is April 12th, and the Tigers are already in first place and on their way to the World Series this year in 1989. Some people pick the Tigers to be in 6th. I don't think so. And he'll be throwing at the 4, 6, 7, 10 split. That's kind of nice, the 4, 6, 7, 10. If you think about the numbers, it sounds like they're real close together. And he's going to try it. He'll pick up the 6-10. .106 in the 7th frame for John. John's actually has a 181 average. That's what he carries in his league. And he's far from that mark right now. Strike there for Al in the 7th frame. Remember, stay tuned for that Tournament of Champions. That'll be in June. Always a good time. Come on down to the Garden Lanes. We'll let you know when it is. Public is invited. And a solid 5-pin there in the 8th frame. Strike in the 7th for Al. Al with a 139 with that strike through 7. He has a 25-pin handicap, so he's well off his average of 163 for the day. Lanes seem to be a little oily. And a spare there in the 8th frame. And he leaves a 1-2-4 combination here in the 8th frame. 106 in the 7th for John Garland. I'd like to say hello to Oz, who usually takes Wednesdays off work to watch up your alley. And he left the 4-pin standing. 115 through 8. Judges, are the scores correct? Members of the jury, do we want to indict this man? And a strike there in the 9th frame. It's usually where he turns it on. Bring up Al in the 9th frame. He'll bowl out. A large crowd on hand today here at the Garden Lanes. We had to turn people away at the door. And he leaves the head pin, the 1-pin standing.
I need the pins.
we'd like to congratulate that University of Michigan team on winning the national championship. They beat Illinois on Saturday, April 1st, and then they came back on the 3rd and beat Duke. And a spare there in the 9th frame. And a split there in the 10th frame. And we'd like to congratulate the Detroit Red Wings, who finished with the 5th worst record in the NHL and still won the North Division. That is amazing. Right through the center. Al's final score. 192 for Al. So this will bring up John. I don't think he can win it with strikes, but maybe a couple of bucks in my pocket and could have a champion. Strike there. I'd like to thank Harold Larson for wearing headsets today. Harold's wearing the kind of headsets that tree trimmers wear. And a bucket. 2, 4, 5, 8 combination. Everything going all right, Jer? Next week we're going to keep score with algebraic equations, so stick with us. And he picks up the bucket there. And a final score for John, 161 to 192. Judges, are the scores correct? And they really don't know, they're eating. But anyways, we'll be back with more of Your Alley right after this.
You know, hanging out's okay. Nothing to do but shoot the breeze and let the day pass. But after a while, you get the feeling there's got to be more to life. And your family starts bugging you to get serious about your future. But when it comes right down to it, it's your life, and you've got to make the move. For me, it was the Air Force. They gave me over 200 careers to choose from. Careers that can really take me somewhere. In computers, electronics, communications. The Air Force is even picking up most of the tab for college. And I'll tell you, the Air Force lifestyle is something else. So why don't you give it a shot and get going with your future? You'll be serving your country and yourself in the Air Force.
Nice move. Hi, welcome back to Up Your Alley. This is the end of the show. It's been an exciting match. A final score, 161 to 192. Al beat John. Al had a 25-pin handicap, but it didn't seem to matter there. He would have won it anyways. So right now, I'd like to bring up John Garland. What camera am I on? There's two right next to each other. I'm on number 1 with the light on. Let's bring up John Garland right now. He was our 2-week champion. We're going to retire him. You always put on the heat in the 10th.
I tried to, but today they were just a little too dry for...
Maybe if we number all the frames with 10s.
Hey, that would be a good idea. We'll start in the first with a 10, and then we can just keep it going.
Well, you both, are the lanes oily?
No, they were awful dry today.
Are they?
Taking a long ways.
You put it in the gutter. That's the first gutter we've had all season.
I had to turn my fingers out a little bit and just lost it to the outside.
It was a great match, though.
We had a lot of fun. It's been a real experience being here, and I've really enjoyed it.
Great. Well, thanks for being on the show. We have some back taxes we owe you, some prizes from a few weeks back. So there's your prizes for being a champion. We owe you a T-shirt. But JD silk screening and more. I don't know. Harold, come on up here. Well, he show the T-shirt. This is what they sometimes look like when we get them. And
They look real nice. That's,
people wear them all the time.
I would say.
This is actually the T-shirt. And this is Harold Larson. He's a model for Casablanca Modeling in Southfield. And you may get a T-shirt like that. If you don't, well, I don't know, we'll send you more prizes or something.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thanks for being on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, John Garland. And now we'd like to bring up our new champion, Al Hayes. He has a 192 average. Next week he'll face his son, Brian. Let's bring him up here. Congratulations.
Thank you. John had a rough time. Alex is just a little too dry for him. He's a big hooker, and he couldn't control it.
You can't say hooker on television.
Okay. I understand where you're coming from.
But anyways, it looks like you're not going to have to clean any pools this summer.
Hey, I think I'm going to get a break this summer. I got Phil. We can set him down. We can set John down. Now I got to beat the boy for the backyard privileges.
Well, now we got to face you up against Phil one of these days, just so that you can win like the king of the neighborhood.
I can psych him out, too.
Well, we'll give you some prizes. Gift certificates from King Cone, Geppetto's, and Tails and Tapes, and we'll see you back here next week.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, Al Hayes. Whoa, it's an action-packed week this week. Predictions. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to bring up Jerry Riley, our scorekeeper. Jerry, come on up. You got your predictions on you? These are Jerry Riley, our scorekeeper. This is the American League predictions. And how are we doing today?
Pretty good.
Now, let's talk about these, Jer. What do you got here for the American League East? He's got Toronto first. Now, why Toronto?
Because I think they got a better pitching staff going for them, and they got a lot of good hitters, and I think they're going to be a well-balanced team.
And then we got Cleveland, Milwaukee, and New York, all up there in the top four. Why all them?
Well, Cleveland, they played real good last year, and I think if they get their good pitching going, and the hitters do like they did last year, they're going to be up there. I'm on the top 3 teams myself.
Jerry, you just said the same thing for Toronto.
But I think Toronto has a better overall for them.
Okay, then we got Milwaukee and New York. I don't know. I think you're counting Milwaukee up too high and maybe New York a little too low.
Maybe so, but I'm just a little worried about the Yankees pitching staff.
You're worried about everyone's pitching staff. Let's go down here to Boston in 5th place. We got Boston in 5th, Detroit in 6th, and Baltimore, I think, is the only one that I would actually agree with in 7th place. And Baltimore probably should face off with, like, the Red Wings, the worst team in the North Division. Well, why Boston in 5th? I think you're counting them too low.
Well, that's the way I just feel.
Now we're going to go over to the West. Now, this is pretty close, I think. We got Oakland at first. I definitely think that.
I think
Oakland
that
up
too.
there at top. Minnesota, I can't stand, but I think they're going to have a shot at it. Kansas City in 3rd. Yeah, that's probably good. California in 4th. I don't know. With the additions to Lance Parrish and
Jim Abbott.
yeah, and Jim Abbott pitching for the Angels. There we go. And he's their 5th rotation. Now we'd like to congratulate him. He's a wonderful award winner. He won what, the Sullivan Award or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's terrific. We got Texas in 5th. I kind of doubt it. Seattle in 6th. I really kind of doubt it. And Chicago in 7th. I think all these teams should be in 7th. And
I do too. But they only can be one team being 7th, though.
I don't know. I think we're going to pick, personally for me, Detroit, Toronto, and New York probably up there in the top 3 with Boston in the 4th. Up there somehow like that.
The only reason I picked Detroit low, because I know they got a pretty good pitching staff, but they got a lot of young ball players, and I don't know how they're going to handle it. And the pitching staff might get tired out toward the end of the season.
I don't know. My buddy Milt Kyler, if they bring him up, I think he's going to be one of their powerhouses. They got some decent right-handed hitting now. They got probably the strongest pitching rotation in the American League, and I think they got a good chance. But thanks a lot, Jerry, and good luck on your predictions. Well, for Jerry Riley, our scorekeeper, Ed Kane, the man behind me on the camera, we got Keith Adkins on camera here, Dan York, our director, Krista Neely's just sitting there wishing she could sing, and Harold Larson, our graphics man. I'm Kevin Kramus. Good night. How you doing, Ed?
Fine, how are you,
Tell
Kevin?
the people good night.
Good night, everybody.